Cheddi Jagan, man of the people. It's the 16th remembrance anniversary of Cheddi Jagan, a tribute in celebration of his life and works. On Sunday, March 3 at Babu John Crematorium, Port Mourant, Berbice at 15 hours. The gathering will be addressed by President of Guyana, His Excellency Donald Ramotar, General Secretary of the PPP, and other party leaders. Bring out your family, neighbors, and friends. It's the 16th remembrance anniversary of Cheddi Jagan, a tribute in celebration of his life and works. Cheddi Jagan's vision, our living guide.
I'm extremely glad to be here with you. My friends, this is a crucial time, a time that tries men's souls, a time of tremendous changes worldwide. We in the PPP have recognized these changes in charting a new dynamic course for the national reconstruction of our country. The world is changing and we all have to adapt and change to meet changing circumstances. But I've learned a lot. I've been victim of my party, my country, myself, victim of the Cold War, McCarthyism in the 1950s when we first won election in 1953. We are concerned when investments come in the country that it does not have too high a rate of return. For instance, in talking about electricity the other day, about this deal we are trying to make.
40% partnership.
Some people are talking about giving a rate of return to capital, foreign capital, of 25%. That means to say that in less than 3 years they recover the money that they make. And this means that afterwards you will have the drain from the north, from the south to the north.
I'm concerned with the economic aspects of socialism. And my feeling is that this is the only thing that's going to solve a backward country's problems. And this is where I stand. Not people like me who are threats to anybody. It's the conditions which are bred in these places. If I am not here, somebody else will arise in my place because of the conditions which have been generated here, which generate themselves in Latin America, in Africa and elsewhere. Poverty, backwardness, hunger, ignorance. It is necessary to examine what is the cause of these things.
The works of Lenin had a great influence on me. That is, to learn about how workers are exploited, how systems create oppression and exploitation, and what we need to do in order to bring about freedom and happiness for the people all over the world. Well, life was very hard in the country then. There was intense poverty. I grew up in what is called a range. That is a plantation range where a lot of people were living together in one building. And it was a different kind of world than you know and you're growing up in. Of course, a nation, they must see that they're proud of their nation and they're doing everything possible to look after the welfare of the nation and their communities. In that way, they will have good family life and good social upbringing in the country. Work for peace and harmony, especially in our country, a land of 6 peoples, that all the peoples must have an opportunity, equal opportunity to grow up and to have all the things in life that they want, to live a rich life. Not just material things, that is food, clothing and shelter, what are called the basic needs, but also other values like sports, like culture. As you know, we have converted residence into Castellani House, and there we are putting a lot of emphasis. Now we made it into an art gallery, into things like painting and sculpture, and other things can be added in our community like literature and music, so that we can live a full life. And I think young people have to have that broader perspective, because when you are very young, you're interested mainly in passing your examination. But that is not all in life. One has to grow up with a broader perspective.
I have never made any secret about my views.
I have been thrown out of office. I have been subjected to violence, to indignity, and to jail. I am willing to face these things all over again, and gladly, if necessary, in the fight to free my people and to aid them. Here I stand. Here will I stand until I die.
The future of the world will be decided one way or another, whether people like me will achieve what they want to achieve, that is social change, economic emancipation, by peaceful means or by violent means. Because I have won 3 successive elections and there is no prospect of the opposition defeating me, this is their frustration. In the future, if they, by rigging elections or doing anything, throw me out of government, then the only future here will be violence and trouble.
Insofar as the multinational corporations are concerned, the PPP recognize that they can bring capital, technology, management, expertise, and markets needed for our revival drive. In order to attract foreign investors into Guyana, we will look at a number of archaic laws, such as the Capital Issues Control Act. Last July, I told a group of about a dozen American businessmen interested in coming to Guyana in Washington at the Office of the Caribbean and Central American Action that they would be welcome, preferably in joint ventures, to play a partnership role in our economic development. Further, that they will have, under a changed government, an advantage in that they will have real political stability in the country.
I've been talking a lot about poverty and hardships, but perhaps there's another side which must be noted, and that is the pleasures of country life and growing up at Port Mourant, apart from playing cricket. I'd like to read you just a part of my book, which is a chapter called Growing Up, and I believe that is the best part of the whole book. And here's the book, The Western Trial, The Fight for Guyana's Freedom. And the part which I'm talking about says the following: looking at my own and other city children, I've always felt that they miss so much. Poverty had been intense at Port Mourant, but simple pleasures were many. Country life was full of rich experiences. Perching on the fork of a tree at the center of the carrion, that's its threshing ground, prodding the oxen to urge them on their seemingly endless tramp, mashing, that is the threshing of paddy, sleeping on paddy hay stalks under starry skies, even with clouds of mosquitoes buzzing around, watching cows grazing in the reaped paddy fields, catching fish with hook and cast nets, thrusting one's hand into holes along the banks of empty trenches to find sometimes not fish, but non-poisonous water snakes, shooting birds with slingshots, walking barefoot and pitching marbles in muddy puddles, burning the holy heap and playing mud and abir at Pagua time, and attending the August races. August races was a national institution which all of us used to prepare for. And one of the things about it which was remarkable, since we never wore shoes and so on, all of us had to wear shoes that day. And when we were coming back from the races, the shoes were hung around our necks because they were hurting so much we were not accustomed to wearing shoes. So those were the pleasures of country life.
Cheddi Jagan, man of the people. It's the 16th remembrance anniversary of Cheddi Jagan, a tribute in celebration of his life and works. On Sunday, March 3 at Babu John Crematorium, Port Mourant, Berbice at 15 hours. The gathering will be addressed by President of Guyana, His Excellency Donald Ramotar, General Secretary of the PPP, and other party leaders. Bring out your family, neighbors, and friends. It's the 16th remembrance anniversary of Cheddi Jagan, a tribute in celebration of his life and works. Cheddi Jagan's vision, our living guide.